Good morning, Gateway Rotary. How is everybody today? Leading us today in our flag salute will be Mr. Graham Sackerson.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How about this, Nathan? Remembering the slides today. Wow. Pretty impressive. I know.
Not that we need them.
All right, leading us to the four-way test. Jerry Farmer.
It's only been 4 straight months. Wow. Yeah, incredible. Fellow Rotarians, and yes, please join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and or do. First,
is it true?
Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
C,
will it build goodwill and better friendship?
And lastly,
will it be beneficial to all concerned?
But not finally, lastly, fifth.
Okay, do we have any guests today? I know we have one of our new members, Robert Lehman. Welcome to the club.
Hi, Robert.
We have some speaking guests today, and
Good morning.
I see no others.
Non-speaking guests?
Non-speaking guests, yes. David Dusek, non-speaking guest. Good to see you. Oh, we do have a guest coming in.
Walk in.
And you are a guest of?
Well, you invited me.
James!
His name is Mike.
I've only met James once. James is the CFO with Olympia Federal Savings. Thank you for listening. Yes, if you invite me.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
No longer deputy.
Okay, coming up on November 14th is our joint district meeting at St. Martin's, noon. Yes, Nathan.
Do we have to buy the lunch, or we?
You do not have to buy lunch,
Okay.
so you're welcome to go. If you want to buy the lunch, register and choose your lunch.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the difference between a catered box lunch and a box lunch?
Well,
$25. $20.
Locally.
Yeah, I'm sure it's created with loving hands. It is. Very loving hands. You saw our social worker? Yes. And 2 weeks from today, we will not have a meeting, but we will have our social. We'll have our social at Sylvia's house. Sylvia, anything you want to say? Any updates on that?
Just please RSVP so we know how much alcohol we're drinking.
Please.
And how much dinner to make.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, let's just get me off stage and dive right into our guest speakers today. From Habitat Humanity, Karen Hall is the Director of Housing for South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity. And Tanya Mote, longtime dear friend, is the Chief Advancement Officer. And like, this is, I'm not going to read it for us because this came from Spencer. Because I'm not sure if they're Rotarians or not. Are you Rotarians?
Well, we can former Rotarian.
Former Rotarian, okay. So please welcome to our speakers. There we go, Karen and Tanya. Down is up.
There we go. Welcome again. My name is Karen Hall. If those of you who don't know me, I am the Director of Housing, as he said. We're going to walk you through some slides. I'm going to start, but Tanya's going to finish, and then we welcome any questions. So I'm going to start before I start. How many people know about the Habitat stores? Okay. How many know about our Habitat housing program? And that's why we're doing this. So perfect. Okay. So come up here a little bit.
You can see the slide. So we can stand over here.
Oh,
we can see what we're saying.
Okay, now it's not working.
Down is
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong down button. Okay, so one of the core beliefs with Habitat is that everyone deserves a decent place to live. And this is something that we see people coming to our doors from all walks of life, and we want to make sure that we help them out as best we can. Affordable homeownership is one of the things that we do, but we also do all of our new home development. We include education and support for both people who are part of the program and outside of our program for the community. We help with affordable loans. We also do home preservation. We do climate prep. And we're always seeking volunteers, and we're looking for people to advocate for the things that we're doing. Down and up. There we go. Oops, I skipped right by that. There we go. Okay, so why affordable homeownership? I think that should be pretty obvious that because we have a housing crisis in our area, affordable household stability opportunities, including predictable housing costs, making sure that folks that are purchasing our homes are having a consistent housing cost that's actually available for them. Wealth accumulation, keeping them at, anybody gets a 30-year fixed mortgage. giving them generational support, allowing them to save money so that say their kids can go to college or that their grandkids can continue on in their with the money that they're saving and earning from having these homes. They have fewer chronic health issues because they're not living consistently or being in horrible housing. They have better education outcomes, and they have sometimes there are life choices that happen because they have permanent affordable housing. When it comes to social justice, I like looking up there better. We have access to populations facing systemic barriers, and these barriers can be anywhere from financial barriers, but they may have education barriers. They may have different barriers for the positions that they're working in currently. This helps them. It helps close that racial and gender wealth gap. And housing, as we all know, should be a right. Everybody should be able to have a safe, affordable place to live. And it helps it helps by low-paid occupations, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, about the type of people that we're serving. And our houses are environmentally friendly. We have a lot of work that we've been putting in, trying to keep as low of a footprint as we can on our homes, so we have a very good low global warming risk. In the continuum, when you think about housing, think about emergency shelters and transitional and affordable rentals. The problem is that there's this gap. There's not affordable housing for people who are in between and who can't afford traditional mortgages. You're talking about the folks that are your staff at your doctor's offices, the folks that are the first few years of working at the state. You're talking about individuals who are not just grocery clerk workers, but the people who are actually in the lives that are sort of helping support you and your businesses. So because of that, they're not able to afford homes anymore, to the point that it makes it very difficult. Excuse me?
I'll say this is a very good slide. I've never seen that.
So we want to keep that moving forward so that there's a place for individuals to be able to have affordable homeownership. Cost burden in Thurston County, as you notice in the 30% down at the bottom, and we'll talk about the AMIs in a moment. 30% is where people are most cost burdened in Thurston County in the sense that they are earning 30% of the area median income according to HUD. And as you go up the continuum, obviously, those folks who are not cost burdened are making 100% or more of the area median income. Severely cost burdened individuals are the ones that you're seeing who are not able to get out of their ever-increasing rentals that they're in. They're not able to make ends meet. They may be able to be okay for a while due to a COLA or due to a raise increase, but then suddenly their rent jumps exponentially beyond what they received. And we all know about this housing price trends of houses in the area. Don't really go into detail, but we are in a housing crisis. It's just, what is the newest term that we've seen just in the last day or so? We're not still in a housing crisis, we're in a something else crisis. Somebody else told me. It was Joel, it was, I should have kept that in my head. Anyway, so again, we offer and help with affordable loans, education, and support. Working with folks, there's need for cost burden folks who are in unsafe environments or overcrowding, people who are choosing to be in a 3-bedroom if they have a large family apartment instead of a house. We want them to be able to have a low to moderate income household in order to get a payment of no more than 33% of their income, which is in reality what everybody's household payments should be. But if you own a home for 20 years, that's probably where it is now. But household prices are so much higher, there's no way to really do it anymore, even for those who are on the upper level. Our families that we work with need to put in 300 volunteer hours with us. They go through a series of about a dozen education classes, and we work with them and guide them through getting ready to get a mortgage. This is the area median income that I've been reporting to. So I think there's a little bright shiny thing. I can't really see it. So we work with, at this Thurston County Habitat, we work with people between 30 to 80% AMI. The top level is the size of their family. So if you were to look at a 4-person family, you're talking about approximately $45,000 to $67,000 a year for a 4-person family. This document is on our website, underneath our housing, underneath if you have meet the area median income. You're talking about not a lot of money, right? So even if they had 100%, what seemed like a lot of money back then, $112,000, yes, okay. Used to be a lot of money. It's not anymore. It doesn't go as far as it went. It's really hard to pick up any sort of housing outside of rentals. And so again, our goal is to, is that my time? I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is the area median income, and basically what we do is we try to work with people in this group. Obviously, it's hard for people who are at the 30% level to receive any sort of funding, any sort of mortgage. The one thing I haven't brought up is on there. They go in and they actually get a 30-year fixed mortgage for 30% of their income. They have to be able to have enough, they have to have their credit in good shape, we have to be able to get a mortgage from a traditional lender, and we help them make sure that they find lenders who are going to be working with them to give them that. And you had a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the chart. So there's an association between median income and family size?
Habitat does it by family size. If you look at the HUD website, usually what you're going to see is 80%. You're going to see, I think it's going to be the middle under 90,000 is what they have. They just have to figure. We do it by household size because exponentially, as you have more people in your household, you should be earning more money in order to be able to support that.
I think what he's asking, so for the family of four at 100% median area median income, you need to make $112,000 in order to support a family of four. I think that's
Right.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's median income required.
Right. Yeah. So in ours is again between 30 and 80%, and anything below 30% or at 30% or below is considered to be poverty level. So. Yeah. So with that, and I want to encourage that we ask questions afterwards as well when Tanya's done. So I'm going to pass it over to Tanya Mote. Yes.
And Karen, was the word you were looking for affordability crisis?
Yes.
Okay, because I noticed that.
Just a couple days ago.
Yeah, Chris Wells put out an op-ed. And
Yep.
you're looking at that.
Affordability crisis, exactly. Because it's great that we have houses, but nobody can afford to buy them. Here's Tanya.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. I hope you enjoy your breakfast, and I'm impressed that you all get up at this hour and talk to each other. So well done on that. So Karen mentioned we are South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity. Our focus area is here in Thurston County. We are part of a global network with Habitat for Humanity. There's over 1,000 affiliates across the U.S. and Canada and in 70 countries, all working together to provide affordable homeownership and generational prosperity for families. So I just wanted to mention that. So affordability crisis, as we've just mentioned, and so I'm here to talk about what we're doing about that. So we have a number of different solutions that we're providing. We have a multi-year building pipeline. This is really exciting for us. We built 83 homes since 1989, and we're on target to build 164 over the next 5 years. So we've been really working with our municipalities and partners to figure out how we can be part of the solution. We'll talk more about how all you can help be part of the solution here in a little bit. So we have several new developments, which we'll talk about, that are density focused. They're also environmentally friendly. We're working with the Artisans Group. Some of our homes are passive housing, and then we have a development that we'll talk about that is going to be a net zero development, which is really exciting for us. We work with families of all kinds of different sizes, so 3 and 4 bedroom spaces we have for folks. We also have senior cottages that we're going to be developing as well. As I mentioned, energy efficient. One of our developments is going to have a communal space, which we are excited about also. So let's see what we're working on. So we have our current construction project is in Tumwater. It's named Tâlícn. It means to help, in partnership with it was named in partnership with the Tâlícn Indian tribe. And that's on 73rd and Henderson. You might have seen it. We currently have 4 homes that are almost done, and we're pouring the foundations for the next 6. Eventually, it'll be 28 townhomes, 3 and 4 bedroom spaces. We have volunteers on site Wednesday through Saturday, about 10 volunteers per day, and we take tons of groups of volunteers. For example, Gateway Rotaries could come out and build with us for a day. Just planting that seed.
Is that what visitable townhome means?
Visitable?
Visitable.
Visitable.
I think that means yes, you can actually see them. They are under construction. Yeah. So that is in construction. That'll be eventually 28 townhouses, as I mentioned, with a playground and a variety of different things. Next up, we will be moving into Yelm. We're currently working on infrastructure there and laying the groundwork for that project. 22 homes, 3 and 4 bedrooms, and as I mentioned, some senior cottages there. So that's an exciting place. It's somewhat very close to downtown. I think the middle school's right there on Longmire. So it's a great development for us. Next up, you may have heard of our Boulevard project, partnership with the City of Olympia. We have, I think it's 10 acres that they helped us acquire, Boulevard and Log Cabin Road. This will be our largest development at 112 units. So 3 and 4 bedrooms, 1 and 2 bedrooms. It'll also have a community space, which we hope to do like a food co-op or something like that in that area. We've never done something of this scale, so we're really excited about that. We did have, it's built to passive housing standards. Yes.
Is that just to the right of the water tower? That
Yes,
clear log?
it's very close to our neighborhood. We can walk to it, right?
Yes, and so built at passive housing standards, meaning it's energy efficient already, and then we had a donation, a really generous donation, to be able to put solar on top of the whole thing. So that makes it what they call a net zero community. Just it's not taking anything else off the grid. It's just self-containing. So that's exciting. So in addition to all of those projects under development, we have a couple in the pipeline that we're working with in some other municipalities. So we do new home construction. We also do something called home preservation. We have a really exciting partnership with here it goes, Lewis Thurston Area Agency on Aging. Anyway, quite long. We're really excited about this partnership because they work with seniors in our community who are hoping to age in place and need supportive rails and ramps and showers and things like that. And so they are referring folks to us. We have a critical home repair program where we come out and assess the situation and we say, wow, it looks like you need a new roof. A variety of different things we work on with that. So we come in, mold remediation, roofs, bathroom accessibility. It's very low cost for folks. They have to income qualify. And then for veterans, we fortunately have funding so that's free. Aging in place, I mentioned ramps, and then we also partnered with the city of Olympia recently, well, this is year 2, I think, for the Energize Olympia campaign, which is heat pumps for folks that are income eligible, and then we come in and install those for folks, so that's exciting too. So we're doing a lot, building, home preservation. Karen and her team are definitely working with families in terms of education, how do we repair our credit, all of that. We're also doing advocacy for affordable housing units and sales tax exemption for building materials because we have to pay a lot for building materials, as you might imagine. We've been talking to some of the cities and the county about doing an emergency declaration for affordable home ownership builders to move the process faster because the process can be quite lengthy, permitting, all of that, which again, to that housing continuum slide, creates a real problem. So we're talking to folks about how can we move this quicker, have a dedicated planner, for example, to just help us move that process along. So you might have seen our stores. We have 2. We have one in West Olympia and we have one in Yelm. The hours are up there. The coolest thing about this is that you donate things, you purchase things, and we say that these stores literally build houses because the income that we get from the cabinets that you donate or whatever it is goes into building affordable housing. So that's really exciting. Make sure you visit both of those. On our website, on the top, if you want to see if you can get something picked up, you can just go to our website, click on the little button, it'll connect you, and they'll come pick up something in one of our big box trucks, so you don't have to try to figure out how to put that china hutch or cabinets or whatever in your car.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So I tried that 2 days ago.
Great.
I have office furniture, and I got all the way through the project until it said, must be on ground level or we won't pick it up.
Uh-oh.
And I'm on the 2nd floor, and there's an elevator. So.
We'll talk more about that.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good question. I can see why that would make sense, but I feel like there's an elevator. What? Okay. Great. So we are a very volunteer-powered organization. We have, of course, a board of directors, but we have literally hundreds of volunteers that are the backbone of what we do. And we have volunteers that are out there, like I mentioned, Wednesday through Saturday. We have folks who do our critical home repair work. We have people in the office and help with events. And some of you may have been out to the build site. In May, we had an event called Women Build, where we had over 250 women over 8 days come out and build housing at our Tâlícn development, which is wonderful. We have groups come out, we have faith-based groups and service groups, and so love to have you all come out. Up next, November, there's a little piece of paper on your tables there. Up next, we're having our first ever Veterans Build, which we're really excited about. So if you have served in the military and or if you are actively serving or your family has, come out and build with us. This is a day in honor of our veterans and those that have served or are currently serving. So you pick a day and you come out and volunteer with us, and we're really building community and literally building community and housing. So with that, lots of ways to get involved with us. You can shop at our stores, as I mentioned. You can donate to support our mission, volunteer with us, partner with us in a variety of the things that we're talking about, advocate, and with that, there's Karen and I. There's our information. We're ready for questions.
Yeah, so I had a cast iron sink that was shipped. They're also going to donate it. They said they're only going to scrap it because it has a chip. So I just refurbished it and did another thing. But that being said, can you donate what would be scrap metal so that you guys can make money taking it to the dump?
You want to repeat the question?
Right, he was asking about donating scrap metal. That's a hard one, and I would definitely put that question onto the website and ask the store managers. The reason why we have some rules about what types of things we accept is because of the resaleability. The goal is not to have it be, for lack of a better word, have it be somebody that looks like somebody's cast up something that somebody can then turn around and install. Not to judge. But for the scrap metal part, I believe that is part of what they do when they sometimes pick up stuff at people's homes. They're like, oh, and about this and this. They're like, well, we'll either just roll it down the strip over by the Goodwill over in West Olympia, or they'll take it and they'll use it for a scrap. But just go ahead and ask. We've been very lucky to receive some donations from some of the hotels that have been renovating, and they'll bring in some of their side tables and coffee tables and chairs and things that you see in hotels, and they just completely revamped it. The Olympia Hotel did it, and we have some folks over in Ocean Shores do it. So just in the mindset of resaleability, we also don't take flowered couches. That is a big thing. I mean, again, it's a resaleability because, everybody has their thing. So flowered couches, basically couches that have like a high design on it. Things that you loved and you thought it was amazing, and now you're like, nobody wants it. We don't take beds, but we are now starting to sell bed frames and things and headboards. I believe and sometimes we purchase things too. We get really super deep discount on certain items. We'll get discount on big, huge butcher blocks, and then we can resell them at a reasonable price, and they're beautiful. And also we have a paint recycling program. There's a little bit more information on the site, or you can always ask. And then we turn around and we sell something called Green Sheen. All that paint is sent over to Green Sheen internationally. They recreate it into new paint.
So Karen, I like to thrift for golf clubs, and some habitats that I've been to in Belfair and others. Sometimes they'll have golf clubs. I think in Redmond, Oregon, they've got some. Do you guys take them? Not take them?
I don't believe we're taking them now. No, a lot of times we're looking for things that you can use to remodel or we have so many screwdrivers you would not believe it. And things that you would use for that, and some home goods items, and of course I think we've seen quite a few picture frames. Golf clubs, no. But I do know that the young store does take more eclectic things. Sometimes she gets things where they're taking care of grandma's home before she moves on to a facility, and we'll get some pre-antique or slightly antique items and things like that. So it's worth going and asking that question on our website. We don't work in the stores themselves, so they know what their boundaries are. Again, it's more about resaleability, and if there's a market or people are coming to the store for golf clubs, they would do it.
All your homes spoken for.
So,
in the slides that you just showed.
So what happens, and I'm in housing, so what happens is we go for applications for people who are interested in having those homes as we're building those homes. So we are working on phase 1 of Tâlícn, the first 14 homes. Those homes are spoken for. But the second phase is not because we have not started it. Our goal is not to keep our partner families, our home buyers, waiting for the homes for an extended period of time because life happens, raises happen, things like that. So we do it as they happen, just so that they can be as closer to the purchase as possible.
Go ahead. You were first.
So can you tell us a little bit about the skill requirements to volunteer, and kind of what's expected of volunteers? If we were to assemble a group, are we pouring concrete? Are we painting? Are we hammering? And so what's the skill requirement? Because some of us probably don't have it.
Great. The question was, what skill sets needed for building? So we say no experience required. So for example, right now we have volunteers, let me say, no experience required. And if you do have skills, we have folks that like to come in. So for example, this morning we have people that are going to be doing flooring. There's just 2 people that want to volunteer. They love flooring. They're going to be doing flooring. Group experiences typically would be something like, you come in, we do a safety huddle, we give you all the PPE, the hard hats, the equipment, all of that, and it really depends on what's happening during the day. So we had folks leveling out the gravel for the foundations recently. We will be moving into framing, so that will probably be the next few months, is vertical framing on those. Yep, so lots of hammering. Next up would be things like siding and all of that, then door installation, window installation, all of that. So for Women Build, we had, again, 225 women, some skilled, some not, and then we were able to literally raise the roof. Like we were able to build vertically in that case.
So are the teams supervised? Is there a foreman?
Yes. So we have construction staff, which we're really fortunate to have. They will be there. We also have longtime volunteers that come out, and they love to just be regular volunteers. So those folks will be available too. So we do sometimes have people on short scaffolding, because it's like, second story house. Some people don't like to do that, so they are
the foreman or the construction lead will give you some of their projects to
So
do.
errors and omissions liability insurance, right?
We have, we have all of that. I will say that if the ages are, 18 to 150, you're welcome to come out. We have people of all ages. But from a liability perspective, it is an active construction site, and so you can have 17-year-olds there, but you have to sign off and make sure that they're under your supervision. So 18 to 150, no experience required.
Back in the day, you used to require sweat equity from your incoming residents. Is that still a thing, or did that go by the wayside?
We're starting to use the term volunteer hours, but yes. Sweat equity is a term that they're putting effort into their own or their neighbors' homes. And yes, that is a requirement that they have a certain number of hours. I mentioned it briefly. And those hours can be done at the store, on the construction site, helping us table an event when we're doing a function in the community, just getting the word out about Habitat. But our goal is to get them on site, at least get them on site to actually do some of the work, to actually try to see what it's like building a home, which is, and to talk to Doug's question about what types of things, I mean, they let me have a skill cell, which I had no experience, I was very surprised. But the reality is they'll go with what your skill level is. So you'd be surprised how little amount of stuff that are necessary to do in a house.
And I will add to that too, the volunteer hours. What we have heard from homeowners is that one of the things it does is certainly is skill building for them, but also like I'm helping build your closet and you're helping me build my window or something like that, and so we're invested right in that community because we've been building together. So we want that not to be a barrier for folks, and so Karen and her team really work on that to make it accessible and easy for folks. But there is something about building your home with your neighbors, we find, and then our homeowners tell us that all the time.
Do you have a position on new construction designed for aging in place?
Do we have someone who helps with new construction?
Does your organization have a position on whether new construction should include elements that allow aging in place?
Absolutely. So the question is whether or not our construction is focusing at all on aging in place. Is that correct?
Well, or what your position on
our position is that we are seeing almost as many elders who are needing homes because they too are also having the issue because maybe they've never owned a home and they need to have stability and aging in place. Part of our critical home repair or our home preservation is to keep people in their homes that they own. But with the new construction in Yelm, we have accessible housing, 1-story, 2-bedroom homes, roll in. And then at Boulevard Road, we actually have, it's actually the 55 plus section of the development is 55 plus homes. And those will be ADA for that purpose. Yeah, so we truly believe that is, and then that will be helpful because that also allows the intergenerational in that neighborhood as well.
How long does a typical resident stay in their homes before moving out or whatever the process is?
So the question is how long folks stay in their homes. So far we have 38 homes that have been built and people stay in them. We have probably about a 10 to 20% ratio of people who are staying in their home, not staying in their homes and moving on. Our model in the past was equity building, just because we were able to build the homes and give them the opportunity to gain large amounts of equity so they could move on to a new home. With the housing situation that we have now, I've owned my home for 20 years. I don't know about you, but I don't know if I could sell my home and be able to buy another house. So the reality is long-term affordable housing, permanency, but we are seeing people staying in their homes the length of their, almost to the length of their mortgages. So upwards, we have people who have paid off their mortgages and they're still staying in their homes. So it's not a one and done and then they go in and move on. We are also, when we resell those homes, we are selling them back to folks who are at 80% or under AMI as well, to keep those homes at an affordable housing. So we're not seeing any flippers coming in, redesigning it and selling it well over and above the market rate.
What's the project timeline on the Boulevard project?
Great question. So as I mentioned, we have Tâlícn and then Yelm. Those are our next 2 projects. We anticipate doing infrastructure on that property next summer. That's our hope, depending on funding. So we'll be talking to our legislators and folks about that, but that's our hope to do infrastructure next summer.
And then how long does it take to build out those 112 units?
This is a unique project because it will not be entirely volunteer done. We will be partnering with a contractor to build big portions of this because we need it to go up quickly and because it's a different design that's a little bit harder to do with volunteer labor. So we'll have some volunteer pieces to that. I would estimate in 3 to 5 years. Yeah, 3 to 5 years.
I noticed from some of your pictures that some of the units look more like they were condos than single-family homes. Is that correct?
That is correct. So townhomes is one of the models that we moved to for a variety of different reasons. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so single-family homes or cottage-style homes were great, but we're finding that the cities are more and more wishing for us to have a larger footprint of homes to land. So City of Olympia, especially for Boulevard, wanted us to put as many homes as we possibly could. So the Boulevard Road will have a 3 and 4 bedroom, 3-story homes. There will be 8 to 10 in a row, and there'll be attached townhomes. We have micro townhomes, which are the 1 and 2 bedroom homes. We were thinking of condos, but anybody who's done condos in Thurston County knows it doesn't work. It's not cost effective for us especially. So we decided to do micro townhomes, and those are for single parent one kid homes or younger individuals. Because again, younger individuals are not able to get any sort of equity whatsoever because it's not affordable. And then the 55+ community. So these are, again, because they are wanting to have more people in an environment, these are all multiple attached together. So, yeah, and then quickly I want to put, oh, go ahead. Yeah, you're the back there.
So, are new owners, are there any requirements for like having to stay in this house for a certain period of time? I mean, we talked about like your income adjusting, people getting married, second income coming in. How does that work?
So our goal is that once they move in, that their life moves on and they start gaining more equity. They can bring in another family member, they can have more children, they can do whatever they need. They own that home. So our goal is for them to move and grow within that home. We don't have any restrictions when they're in that home. When they go to sell that home, we would prefer to have that home be sold back to somebody in a similar situation that they're currently in. So I guess, in answer to your question, we don't restrict them once they sign the dotted line and they've actually purchased their home and they're holding a mortgage, that they can do pretty much how they want with their family life. We do say if you're going to have somebody come in and live with you that's not a family member, that they go through some sort of background check or something, so that the neighborhood stays similar.
So when they do decide to sell, do they have to give you the first right of refusal?
Yeah. So in our current homes, they basically have a first right of refusal clause so that it's a covenant so that we can actually repurchase those homes back to them. If we can afford it, we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll put it back on the market. But there is a clause that says even if they sell their own home, they still have to keep it. They have to sell it at the affordable level. So, and we have dynamic education programs that are going on right now, not just for potential habitat participants, but also for the community. We have great programs with the volunteering, but also different ways that you can touch point, or if you know somebody to touch point. We always have the way to be able to get in front of people and talk about what we're doing. So again, remember the folks that we're serving are people who are out there doing the work, being in the background with you, for you, and they're not, because again, we're working with the asset-limited individuals and families.
You have a slide that listed the many ways in which we can get involved on a volunteer basis. Can you talk about where the most acute need is right now for volunteers?
Yeah, so the question was, where's the most acute need for volunteers? Great question. So if you do have a particular skill set, if you know about building and things like that, critical home repair, going one-on-one with our home repair manager into someone's home, that's really helpful to have just people that can come in and do that part. Great. But I would say probably our larger need is just hands on deck in our building site. So we do, like I mentioned, we have corporate teams that come out, we have faith-based teams that come out, we have service groups that come out, we have people that just come and give volunteer time once a week out there just helping, because our model is literally volunteer empowered. So yeah, I say probably sites. Also for folks, you can be younger, so if you do have like in that 16 to 17-year-old kiddo age, they can help at our stores, and we would love to have help at our stores. We have a lot of volunteers that are helping with deliveries or whatever, just helping the stores as well. So I would say build a site. Yes. More questions? Great. Thank you so much.
Tanya, Karen, thank you so much. So the other day, Monday night, I was watching The Voice. Anybody watch The Voice? Okay. New this year to The Voice is the second chance button. Okay, so got this young man, 14 years old. Nobody turned their chairs. Oh, sad. But Gwen Stefani said, I'm going to use my second chance button. And so she got the guy. So I'm using my second chance button this morning. Using my second chance button this morning. Because I blew it with James. So, Jerry, would you like to take the microphone over to James? And Jerry Farber, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you very much. Let's hear a big hand for the living second chance, Mike Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. And so, James.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to put you on the spot earlier. Yeah, so James Van Arnold is my name. Actually just moved into the area. I'm the new CFO over at Old Fed. And very happy to be at this event in particular because of, how we like to be involved for those homeowners who can't afford a home, just trying to get into a home and what Habitat does in the community for them. So happy to be here. I know Rotary does a lot. Mike just filled me in just a little bit on what you all do, and I'm happy to be here just to experience some of that, to meet all of you, because I know you're very influential and helpful in the community as well. So thanks very much for having me here.
Thanks very much, James. Welcome. You could probably meet everybody in this room, and we've had some contact with OnlyFed over the years. And thank you, and pass it along through everybody, our thanks for all that OnlyFed does for our community. You guys are firmly supportive of the Olympia Lacey Tumwater area, and everybody really appreciates what you do. So thank you. And thank you for helping me with my 3 or 4 mortgages through 3 or 4 weddings and marriages as well. So it's been great. And look, over here, Tom, you want to hold that up? Hold yours up? Look what we're doing. We all have OnlyFed bags as well. So there you go. It's what goes around comes around.
Does he have any more bags?
Do you have any more bags with you? No, that's quite all right. So Robert, you had the opportunity to meet some of our members last week, and so I would like to introduce you to a few more. One of them is Tom Carroll. Tom, did you have a chance to say anything last week when we had our new members here? No, I think you left at that point. Are you still here? Tom, would you like to introduce yourself to Robert? Tell us a little bit about your involvement with Rotary.
Hi, well, I rotarized and we spent 2 hours together.
Oh, never mind. So Eric, would you like to tell yourself a little bit about, or tell him a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, no, that'd be okay. We've met before, I think. So we visited before. You're related to Mike Leonard. Yeah, we've met. We actually attended a charity auction several years ago. Yeah, we visited. So I'll remind you about that offline.
That's right. Thank you very much. What an incestuous group we got going here. So just quickly, you've just been talking to him, haven't you?
I have, and I'm his sponsor. So you're off your game today. Move along.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Hurt it, move on.
Doug, I know you're a loquacious person, and you want to tell Robert about yourself a little bit. Hi, Robert.
We sat together previously as well. So I've been around the community for a little bit. Okay.
So, boy, and he's voted for you a couple times, too. Both, it was actually during the same election. Yeah, thank you very much. Several times. That's right. Worked out well. Troy, would you like to introduce yourself to our new member? Robert.
Hello, my name is Troy Oliver, and I work with North Thurston Public Schools. I've been a member of Gateway Rotary for 8 or 9 years now. I lose track.
Absolutely, and it was that association that you had with us that propelled you to the heights of the superintendent of North Thurston Schools. Isn't that correct?
I think that's the only thing that made it happen.
Exactly. Yes. Let's hear it for North Thurston Public Schools. Go Rams! Dave Dusak, could you help me?
Nobody can help me.
Well, hi, Jerry. How are you today? Yeah, well, long-time listener, first-time caller. So I like to fill Robert in on Tom's first experience with Rotary, actually. So when Tom was on vacation, him and his wife Lori, and they saw the Rotary sign in the lobby where there was a Rotary meeting going on, and he looked at it and says, "Let's go, Lori. This looks like fun. It actually looks like the wheel of a boat." So, never mind. It might be about sailing. Who knows? So anyways, I just thought I'd fill you in on that. Since Jerry's dying here, I thought I'd just die with him. That's what friends do.
Thank you very much. You know, in all my years of stand-up comedy, I can say that usually when you bomb in front of an unfriendly audience, it's because they don't know you. It is so much more personally excruciating to have everybody know you and have everything fall flat. So thank you, Gateway Rotary. Give yourself a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sure, Mike.
I would just like to say one thing. I think Dave Dusak would be, based on that rambling, would be the perfect next in line for vice presidency.
Yeah, I think so. Because he needs to do some real work.
I second that.
He seconds that motion. So our incoming vice president, Dave Dusak. Thank you very much. Welcome to peer pressure. So I wanted to share something because this is another thing that I bombed on at one time when I was young. I was telling somebody to please RSVP, and a person who was very steeped in correct grammar said to me, "You know, you just said please respond, please," because of course RSVP is French for respondez-vous, s'il vous plaît, or respond. Yeah, exactly. So we don't really need to say please. We don't need to say ATM machine either, do we? No, we don't, because that M is a machine, isn't it? So just say, you know, if you're a grammar Nazi. I was hoping to play for the grammar Nazis in the room on that joke, but apparently that didn't work.
My next book is going to be Inside Jerry Carter's Head.
Wow.
It's a short book.
A bunch of blank pages.
So global pandemic. I love that.
Global pandemic is redundant.
That's right.
It's like when you go to the Flat Earth Society and they say they have offices all around the globe. Yeah, I love that. So, let's see, no flower couches, I have that written down here. And as a person that used to pervade men's fashion, I want you to know what goes around comes around. You may actually have a market for those flower couches just around the corner. Although, you know, I also know that they do not take any appliances in the shade avocado or burnt orange. So somehow or another, that's a fashion that never bothered to come back. Thank God for that. So let's do special moments. Who has a special moment they'd like to share today with this warm and friendly room? Yes, Nita.
You never hand me the microphone, so I'm just going to talk into it, right, Jared?
Right, exactly.
Let me have it. I wonder how many people are coming to the October 23rd dinner at Sylvia's house. Raise your hand if you've already RSVP'd.
I've not
Okay. If you have not RSVP'd, please do so. I'm in charge of booze. So I have a question for drinkers. I'm going to bring 2 signature drinks, a lemon drop for people who like the girly stuff, and then a Manhattan. My question to this group is...
For those who like the man in it.
Yes. Why haven't you RSVP'd? Please. And what kind of beer and wine do you want? I don't do beer or wine, so I know nothing about it. So what
Mad
kind
Dog.
of
Let's
wine?
bring in beer.
Amanda's bringing beer.
I have beer wine now.
Okay, great.
Mike and Kathy have wine.
Okay.
You just have your 2 signatures.
So I got the signature cocktails. Sign up. It'll be fun. Thank you.
Amanda's got beer, Kathy and Mike have wine.
Okay. Yes, Nathan.
I won't be here next week because I'm going to Leavenworth Oktoberfest. Couldn't go last year to Germany, so I'm going to go to
Leavenworth, yeah.
for
That's right.
Oktoberfest.
Not the Kansas version of that.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. That's it.
So next week, if we can't get any of our technology working, we will be doing it all Acapulco. So yes. Okay.
I just made 3 years breast cancer free.
That's right. Save the top guys.
Yes.
Take the time.
Done.
Right, Gary. So, Self-Line, they do 6 months or something like that. I haven't been here for a while, so my apologies. Work has gotten in the way, and I'm going to miss the next 2 meetings. And so, yeah, because I got other things. I got work. I got a thing to do on Wednesday, and then I got a conference to go to. So, a happy moment is if everything goes as planned. Heather and I are doing another father-daughter Disneyland trip this weekend, so be prepared for a bunch of pictures of Mickey Mouse.
That's right. Not the Florida one.
Not the Florida, no, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anaheim.
Doug, how many more years of Disneyland do you think you guys have? How many more years?
More years?
Together.
Together, you have.
Well,
How old is
As long as it takes.
until the money's, So,
That went fast.
if I'm meeting with my financial planner correctly, this will go on for 20, 30 years.
And then she starts paying.
Congratulations. And I have to say, last week we did our one and only election forum. We missed you, Doug. We particularly missed the Doug Mom shuffle. So, the shuffle. Although Spencer kind of was okay in that direction, he just didn't have the flair and panache to manage to execute that really well. So thank you very much. Big hand for Doug Mom, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Mike, you have something to contribute.
I do. So I contributed heavily to the Shelton Skookumchuck Rotary Club Oyster Fest over the weekend, and it was wonderful. Perfect weather, great oysters, delightful.
Yeah. They do a great job. Yes, Eric.
So I was gone last week, had a little workshop to host, and I will be gone next week as I'm heading to Ireland.
Oh.
My wife for a great trip. And happy moment, I was able to actually purchase my office. Now Edward Jones is now one of my tenants, they can pay me rent. Okay, so that was a huge milestone for me, so very exciting.
Congratulations, Eric.
You're the man.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? In that case, I will now give you a reason to be pumped up. I'm going to turn it back over to Mike for all he does for our drawing thing. So this, by the way, this is your new president, Mike Leonard. So, I don't know if you met James from OnlyFed.
I think we had coffee.
All right, great. Here you go, Mike.
Who's the president?
I still was at the time. Boy, can I start counting down yet? Okay, so, Jerry mentioned ATM machines. Did you not?
Yeah, I did.
I think there is an ATM machine here in the building. Might want to make use of it as we sold 5 tickets. Looks like Tom's got 3. Oh, 2. Okay.
And Graham's got the other.
All right. So,
Anita has a 15-cent
So this week's big old, I call it the big old Harry Pot.
Big old Harry Pot.
It's now $15 with 11 marbles, and the big number is so little. 675.
Yeah.
64.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah. That was it?
Hey, if it wasn't you, it's got to be it.
All right.
I really hope the gambling commission does an investigation
The drawing.
White marble!
Yeah, congratulations. As you all know, white marble gets you nothing. It used to get you 5 free